You are now listening to WSN Wolf Sports Network, live from the University of West Georgia in Carrollton, now an Odyssey station.
Live from Carrollton, Georgia, this is Sports Pack.
West Georgia's go-to show for all things sports.
From the best interviews in college radio.
Hey, this is Coach Joel Taylor, head football coach here at the University of West Georgia.
Hey everybody, this is Jeff Bacon, Atlantic Sun Conference Commissioner.
To the hottest takes around.
I wholeheartedly believe that behind Sean Payton and a second-year Bo Nix, the Denver Broncos can dethrone the Kansas City Chiefs and be the AFC West champions.
I mean, plain and simple, the worst decision Kalen DeBoer has ever made is taking the head coaching position at Alabama.
We've got all you need and more right here on Sports Pack.
The Wolves play here.
What up, everybody, and welcome to another right here at Wolf Sports Network. Now, enough of the pleasantries. We have a jam-packed show to get into. A lot of West Georgia athletics to talk about. Crazy college football weekend, but what else is new? And got a lot of big-time news in the NFL. If you don't know, now you know. Brian Callahan is out as the head coach for the Tennessee Titans. James Franklin is also out at Penn State. And we have some NBA to talk about as well, as there is preseason action in Atlanta tonight. A lot of sports to talk about. Never enough time to get into it. So we're going to make the most of this hour that we got right here. But before we get started, I must remind you that every Wednesday is Fried Chicken Wednesday at West Commons. Faculty and staff can now get their own meal plans by visiting westga/dinewest. That is westga.edu/dinewest. You can also follow Dine West on Instagram at UWGDine_West for other special events and updates. In a recent survey, almost 53% of full-time college students ages 18 to 22 drank alcohol in the past month. That is why Wolf Sports Network and Wolf Radio's Drink Responsibly campaign is here to remind you, yes you, I don't care if you're drunk right now, we're here to remind you all.
Wow.
There is no drinking under the age of 21. Never drink and drive,
Nope.
even if it's only one beer. And to add food and water when you drink so you don't end up texting your ex. Trust me, brother. Please know your limits. Now, John,
Yes, sir.
how about the Wolves?
Is Widener rolls to the right. He's got some time. Everybody's down at the end zone. He heaves it. And it is caught for a touchdown.
We are one. Go Wolves.
As Coach Taylor says in all his press conferences, it's a great day to be a Wolf. You know, it's always a great day to be a Wolf, but some days are a little bit better than others. And, you know, I think I can speak for all of us when I say when our football team wins on Saturdays, it makes it just a little bit of a better victory Monday. Like I said, it's always a great day, but it makes it a little bit better. This past weekend, we had the number 19 team in the FCS ranks, the Abilene Christian Wildcats, marching to University Stadium in our first ever ranked FCS matchup in the city of Dreams, Carrollton, Georgia. It was a big-time event, had a big-time crowd. Abilene did, and they didn't have that many people travel. But we packed out the stands once again. It has been a great season for attendance. And they walked in our trap and took over our trap. Beating our West Georgia Wolves 30-13 behind 241 passing yards and 3 touchdowns from their quarterback, Stone Earl. John,
Yes, sir.
I want to start things off with you. You were down on the sidelines with me taking pictures during this West Georgia game. What was the one thing you noticed that really set Abilene apart in this game?
I would say it's Abilene's offensive line. I mean, those guys are solid. We could barely even touch Stone over there. Heck of a name for him, especially after you transfer several schools. But you return to your motherland, and he just had a game, and you could look at him, and he would just be standing there for maybe 10, 15 seconds. We got 1 sack on him the whole game. And I don't understand. We had this elite pass rush throughout the first 5 weeks, and now we can't do anything against Abilene Christian? What are we doing here? It is bad. I mean, I was very surprised there was just 1 sack on the day, but Stone was looking good out there, unfortunately.
Schrader, I missed you, buddy. How'd you feel about Colton Fitzgerald starting in place of our normal starting quarterback, Davin Widener, this week as Davin nurses a shoulder injury?
There were a lot of things that I struggled with Fitz's performance. I mean, on paper, it looks great. 19 for 37, 279, 1 touchdown, no picks. Seems great, but at the same time, we threw the ball a total of 38 times. We're not going to talk about what Bryce Dickerson did because I think that just completely took us out of the game.
It did.
But Fitz did not necessarily play well. He had a lot of missed throws, a lot of guys that were open, a lot of bad reads. It was a pretty brutal performance from him. Davin would have definitely done better and probably kept us in that game for longer.
Speaking of Davin, we do have an update from Coach Joel Taylor about Davin's status for this upcoming weekend's matchup against Tarleton State.
Yeah, I mean, it's still early. We'll see. He'll get out there and throw today, and hopefully, he'll be fine. But at the end of the day, if he's not, we'll go with Colton. I thought Colton had a, pretty good game last week. Didn't turn the ball over, gave us some opportunities. I think he threw for, it was 2-something, so I thought he had a good game, man. So right now, Colton will have another week of practice if Davin can't go. But if Davin can go, it'd be great to have him.
So, like pretty much like he said last week, hopefully Davin will be ready. If not, Colton will be taking the field, Cadence, against the number 3 team in the FCS ranks, the Tarleton State Texans. Yes, they got a little lazy picking their mascot, but Tarleton is no laughing matter, Cadence.
No.
This is a real deal team with some big time wins on their schedule as they, week 2 of the season, marched into Army and took down the Army Black Knights 30-27.
Yeah.
So building up to this matchup, Cadence, what do our Wolves need to do to be ready to pull off the upset of the year for us?
I honestly, at this point, I don't know, because with Davin out, I feel like our offense has been, these past 2 games, it's been a mess. And I feel like we were so, with these being 5-0 and consistently having Davin and being able to work through that, we were starting to show out. But him getting off that injury, I really hope so soon, because Arlton might just come in. Not Arlton.
Tarleton.
Tarleton.
Tarleton State.
So Arlton can just come in and just run straight through us.
And you're right. We've really been a shell of ourselves since the injury. Last weekend's game against Abilene started off good, but we're not going to win any game with Davin playing or not if we only hand the ball off to Latrell 10 times in a game.
That made me so mad.
That's not going to happen. He had 10 carries for 19 yards. He is the best player on our offense.
Run the darn ball.
When Latrell Morrell and TJ Lester are getting going on the ground, we're pretty much unstoppable. That unlocks this West Georgia Wolves attack. And without them two, I'm not sure what we're going to do against Tarleton. Now, Cadence, I want to swing it back over to you. Run us through what else is going on in the world of UWG athletics this week.
Okay, so volleyball lost 3-0 against EKU. They also lost to Bellarmine, I think.
Yeah, Bellarmine, yeah.
Bellarmine, okay. 3-0 as well. However, on the other hand, soccer, after losing to Queens 3-0, they played them in a recreational match, I think this past Sunday, and they tied them 2-2. So it was a pretty decent game, honestly.
I'll take a tie.
Exactly. I would take a tie over a loss. And then on Thursday, we play FGCU, which is a pretty consistent team within the conference. And then we play Stetson again on Sunday.
And correct me if I'm wrong, but Stetson is a team we won against a couple weeks ago, I think 3-1, right?
Yes.
So that could be another big-time confidence booster game as we get into our last 4 games of the season, man.
Yeah, which is crazy. And then our women's golf team is currently at day 1 of the Lady Red Wolves Classic, and we're currently holding a T4 position with, once again, consistently Hannah Barrett leading us. She's currently tied for 14th position. However, the men's team, which are currently at the Scrappy.
The hardest tournament in golf.
Exactly. They're currently tied at the T6 position with Luke Sinkovich not leading, but he's tied for 3rd against, I think, 5 other, but he's been consistently pulling out throughout this golf season, especially coming in as a transfer. So hopefully they can do a little bit better than they did last tournament.
What is the deal with the Scrappy? I feel like
I don't know.
You were dead Thursday's show, so I'm sorry.
Very few people make it out of the Scrappy alive.
There's a reason why Scrappy's in there, man.
Because I had no idea the Scrappy out in Ackworth, Georgia was the hardest golf
That's my
tournament.
stomping grounds, bro. Nobody makes it out of there alive.
Nobody makes that at
Schrader
Ackworth
knows
live.
something about that.
Schrader's never stepped foot on there, man. It's that scary.
There's a reason.
Nobody makes that at the Scrappy in Ackworth, Georgia alive. I know that's right. I'm going to start sending my enemies there. Jackson Bowles to get on a bus straight to the Scrappy in Ackworth, Georgia. He's never coming back. He just walked in the studio.
Let's hope
He
the Wolves
walked
make it
in
back.
right after I said that.
That's
That's
We'll
hilarious.
find a way to scrap out of there.
I'm sorry, y'all. It's some kind of inside joke going on. I don't even get it. I hope y'all do. Now, we're going to take a quick ad break, but don't go anywhere, because when we return, we are diving into this college football weekend, making some sense of Penn State firing their head coach, James Franklin, after 12 years of service at
Something
Penn
like
State.
that.
It's a crazy conversation, and we're going to get right into it when we get back from this break. But hold on a second. I'm here to remind you before we go that Wolf Radio and Wolf Sports Network are proud to help reduce the 21% of adults with low literacy skills. We are collecting new and gently used books for every UWG pre-K student monthly. So give today by visiting thewolfuwg.com/book drive. That is thewolfuwg.com/book drive. Now, like I said, we got a whole lot more sports to get into, so do not touch that dial. Stay locked in with us right here on Wolf Sports Network. You're listening to Sports Pack.
You are listening to Sports Pack Mondays and Thursdays from 6 to 7.
Sports Out of Pocket has a brand new showtime.
Yeah.
But what time is it at?
I don't know.
It's not 5 to 6. It's not 7 to 8. It's 6, 7. Wolf Sports Network. It ain't just a game. It's everything. This is where the best separate themselves from the rest. But to be the best, you gotta read the best. And the best is the playbook.
Let's go. Yeah, go.
Tune into the playbook, Fridays at noon on Wolf Sports Network. Hello? Can anybody hear me? I can't see anything. It's like a snowstorm out here.
JT, I need your help.
What? Who goes there?
I'm the ghost of Out of Pocket Past.
Nah, bro. I don't mess with ghosts.
But I need a sports fan that has zero chill.
Well, now that you mentioned that, this is gonna be Out of Pocket. Tune in to Season 6 of Sports Out of Pocket, Zero Chill. Wednesdays at 6 on Wolf Sports Network. Man, this beat brings back memories. Anyways, let me tell you all about this show on Wolf Sports Network. Get with the playbook. Get with the playbook. Get with the playbook. It's the playbook. Hear us talk about all college basketball, football, and baseball. Fridays at noon. The Playbook, only on Wolf Sports Network.
Baby, it's college football time. Give me my theme music.
Breaking news out of Not So Happy Valley. Just 16 days ago, the Penn State Nittany Lions were leading the Oregon Ducks in overtime on their way to a potential top 10 win. But things didn't go their way, and the Penn State Nittany Lions ended up losing to the Oregon Ducks 30-24 in OT. Then, that next week, they thought they were going to bounce back against then 0-5 UCLA. But they ended up losing that game 42-37 after a legacy performance from Nico Iamaleava. Now, there are big-time questions. What's happening with Penn State? Can they shake back? Can they still make the playoffs? Well, the answer to that question, you guys, is a resounding no. After a devastating 22-21 loss to the Northwestern Wildcats in a game where Drew Aller, Penn State's starting quarterback, suffered a season-ending injury. And that loss ended up leading to James Franklin's contract being bought out for $48 million as he was fired as the head coach of the Penn State Nittany Lions after 12 years of service, going 104-45 in his tenure. But the big problem here wasn't just his recent skid. It's the fact that over that 12-year span, James Franklin was 4-21 against top 10 opponents. It was already a big-time topic going into this season. If James Franklin can't get over the hump, will his job be in jeopardy? But not only could he not beat the top teams this season, he's been losing to food as well. Welcome in, Keyshawn, my brother. Happy to have you on the show as always.
Happy to be here.
So I want to start with you, Keyshawn, since you are joining us now for this segment. What was your knee-jerk reaction to this news, and do you think Penn State made the right decision?
I think definitely think they made the right decision. I mean, like you said, when you mention Penn State, it's never them getting past that hump, right? They start good in the regular season, then they get into the late games, late in the season, the playoff games, the conference games, and it's like everything falls apart, right? They're they're good for about 10 or 11 wins, but it's like what happens in the playoffs.
10-2 season, or
right?
What else?
Yeah, exactly. What else? It's like they can never get over the hump. So I mean, and now you look and they go down to 3 teams. 2 of the teams which they should have won. I mean, you lose to a winless UCLA team. And then next week, the following week, you look to bounce back. Then you lose to another unranked team. So it's like
Northwestern hasn't been good since 2017 when they made the Big Ten championship.
Oh yeah,
they've been abysmal ever since.
Right.
They only made the Big Ten championship because of divisions too.
Exactly.
So it's like it was a move that needed to happen. Did I expect it to happen this early in the season? Definitely not. But I mean, hey, it happened. It needed to happen.
Yeah, I sit in the same boat as you do. I mean, I knew, especially after the UCLA loss and just how stagnant that team looked, that James Franklin was probably going to go, because now not only is he not winning the big games, but he's losing the games to a UCLA team that had not led a game at all until they played Penn State this season. And so I look at that and I'm like, yeah, not surprised at all. But my thing is, and what puts Penn State in a tricky situation is, who are they going to bring in that's going to do better than he did?
Exactly.
Right.
Like, he was consistently having them contend. Sure, they didn't win the big games, but personally, I would do a lot for my team to go 10-2 all the time. That sounds like a pretty good gig. But it's an interesting situation, because you can't necessarily say that James Franklin was a bad head coach, but you can't say that he was a great one either.
Yeah, right.
Right. It's one of those where it's a very interesting topic, because like you said, who do you bring in next that's going to do better? He had an extremely good record against his other teams. Let me pull it back up. Like I said, he was 104-54 in his career at Penn State. But like I said, it's that thing against the top 10 opponents.
Yeah.
4-21 against AP top 10 teams. But when we look at top 10 teams in the Big 10, he was 1-18.
That's unacceptable.
That's good.
That's unacceptable.
That one win being a 24-21 victory over number 2 Ohio State, all the way back in 2016. So he has not been good in Big Ten conference play. He's beaten all the people he was supposed to beat, but hasn't been able to get over the hump. So, John, moving forward, I'm going to ask this is a loaded question here, and I don't expect you to just be able to answer it, but I'm just trying to paint out how difficult this is. You get rid of James Franklin.
Yep.
Okay. What is your next move? What is the next course of action? If James Franklin couldn't get this done at Penn State, do you think anybody else can? And if so, who?
I think the only coach that really comes to mind right now, obviously I could go deep dive and find everything, but Buster Faulkner out of Georgia Tech, I mean, he's on everyone's radar right now to make the jump from OC to head coach. He's a heck of an OC. He can call an offense, and that's one thing that Penn State can struggle in. They don't have that offense that they need throughout the season. Also, at the same time, for this, I just want to back up. Penn State's AD confirmed that him not winning these big games cost him his job as well.
Yeah, I mean,
but he's just confirmed. And then I just compared him as Mark Richt of the Big Ten. You have him do all these seasons, and then you know what? You're not winning. We're gonna move on We're gonna move on to the next coach. Unfortunately, you got to pay the big buyout fee, but that's just what happens.
You know, I really like that comparison, because it was the same thing going on at Georgia. A lot of people, myself included, were kind of like, "Oh, did Mark Richt really just get fired?" Because how he was winning games, but just like how James Franklin hasn't been able to get past Ohio State and Michigan. Mark Richt could not get past Nick Saban in Alabama. Now, it was Nick Saban, but it's a very similar comparison here. The question is, Schrader, I want to ask you this.
Yeah.
Is there a Kirby Smart out there waiting on a job?
I don't really know, because I look at there's a lot of people, there's Matt Campbell over there at Iowa State. The people are looking at a lot of those Big 10, Big 12 coaches. I don't think Penn State's going to go get a coordinator. I don't think they really want to wait for a program to be built. I think they want somebody that can just instantly win. A lot of people are saying Matt Rule. That could be an option.
He shut that down as of today. He says he loves where he is. He's not
We've heard
leaving.
that before.
He said, and I quote, he would not look into different job openings while the season was ongoing.
I don't think they're going to get their guy, obviously, until after the season. But
yeah, of course.
A school like Penn State will hand – they're a lot like Texas A&M with the money they're willing to give, and it's a job that does not open often at all. I mean, it's been 12 years, and then before that, they had Petrino there for who knows how many years. There's not much turnover here. So guys are going to be looking at this job saying, I want that job because I want to be the guy to restore this program. But at the same time, I just don't know if there's anybody that's really going to be able to surpass James Franklin.
it's very hard to see anybody doing that because of how much success he had. Now, we're going to move off this topic in a second, but it's just puzzling to me because, like you said, it's hard to really get over that hump. Kirby Smart did it at Georgia, sure, when he took over from Mark Richt, but we can't just assume that's going to happen.
Yeah.
And that's why I was weary calling for James Franklin's job because, like, yeah, he hasn't been able to do it.
But who's going to do better?
Exactly, but who's going to be able to do better? It's going to be interesting to see it. And one last point here, what I'm nervous about if I'm a Penn State fan is what is going to happen with our current roster. Because they're a very talented team nonetheless, loaded up with 4 and 5 stars. The portal window is going to open up.
Locker room's
so now,
lost.
Exactly, the locker room likely to shift. You might likely lose a lot of these guys to the portal, but I'm also thinking of these future recruiting classes.
Oh, they've already lost a lot.
I know. That's my whole point. It's like you have all these guys decommitting, so whoever you do end up bringing in, he's being dealt a very bad hand because he is losing the infrastructure that was already in place with James Franklin. Now, I want to pivot and talk about an actual game that went on this weekend. How about the Georgia Bulldogs with a very controversial 20-10 win against the Auburn Tigers? A lot of big-time points in this game. First of all, the 2-minute warning struck in the first half, and it took 32 minutes to get to halftime from the 2-minute warning. A lot of controversial calls throughout the game. Tush-push fumble ended up being called. Tush-push ended up being ruled as a fumble instead of a touchdown for Auburn. Some would argue that was an Auburn touchdown.
It was.
I would argue it was an Auburn touchdown. It goes either way, and that's coming from a guy that's a Georgia fan. So, I mean, it's a very interesting game. I'm just going to open this up. Who wants to take this first? How do you feel about how SEC games have been being officiated over the past couple weeks?
I think Auburn just got the short end of the stick. I mean, you saw what happened when they played Oklahoma with the surprise play. They kept bringing it up, and this was just an ugly there's a whole graphic on Instagram showing everything that, like, how is this, how is this that? It was just something that you got to go back to the SEC and see what is going on here because obviously there were rules bent throughout the whole weekend.
This game, I very rarely blame games on officials. I'm not that kind of fan. I don't do that often. I think there's one other game that I would do that with, and it's the NFC Championship between the Rams and the Saints.
Oh, my God. We all know that. Don't get me started.
But this game right here, this was taken from Auburn. If Auburn has that 17-0 lead, Georgia's not coming back to win this game because Auburn had all the momentum, and the refs just blatantly took it away. That ball crossed the plane.
I think it did too.
Plain and simple. It's not a thing. I don't think it's a thing.
I was talking about it earlier, and my main problem was people were saying, well, if you look at the black glove on this player's hand, you can see it get punched out.
No.
That's my main gripe.
You can see the ball, like,
you can see it. Yeah, you could see it.
But hear me out. You can see it, right? But where can you see it? In replay. When the line judge is making that call, I believe when it's that close, you should call it a touchdown because realistically, no matter how great your vision, I don't care what kind of pilot vision you have, you can't see that. Call it a touchdown on the field. Then when you go into replay, because all touchdowns are reviewed, then overturn it. But don't. I feel like the referees I think the biggest mistake they made was calling them short on the field. Because then there wasn't good enough evidence to be able to overturn it. Where if there was called a touchdown on the field, then you go to replay to determine if there was enough evidence to be able to overturn that call.
But at the same time, I really think the only people that don't think it's a touchdown are Georgia fans. Because the entire ESPN broadcast, which is very hard to get all of them to agree, were all stating that Auburn blatantly got robbed. But I'm mad at that call. I'm more frustrated with the Kirby Smart clapping situation. Because you can say that's funny, but that's just spitting in the face of football right there. That is a coach blatantly calling a timeout, running down the sidelines doing this, yelling timeout. He gets the call, and then he realizes he doesn't want it, so he throws a tantrum saying he's clapping. And with 1 second on the play clock, they just give him a redo. They should have cost a down. They should have done something. Because that just gave Georgia a redo and just completely, yet again, takes any momentum that Auburn thought they could have had in that game right away from them. And it was just, Auburn couldn't catch a break.
It was a very interesting game, and I'm sure the SEC League office is having to answer a lot of questions about how this game was officiated, and also looking back at other games, especially for Auburn fans, that Oklahoma game is a sore spot for them as well. I'm sure we'll have a statement from the SEC League office, if not already, sometime over the next few days. But before we run out of time in this segment, I do want to make mention to one team that really, in my opinion, shook the college football world, but has been overshadowed by other things happening, like the controversial officiating and James Franklin being fired. It is Kirk Cignetti and the Indiana Hoosiers going into Eugene, Oregon, and dominating the Oregon Ducks with a 30-20 win against Dan Lanning, Dante Moore, and the Oregon Ducks. It was an incredible performance by the Hoosiers.
I feel that.
Dude, it was outstanding.
I'm so
their
hyped
their
about that.
defensive line dominated this game. They were able to lean on the Oregon Ducks. Keyshawn, I want to kick it off with you. What impressed you most about this Indiana team?
Like you said, that defense. I mean, they sacked Dante Moore 6 times.
Yep.
They caused him to throw 2 interceptions. So, I mean, like, they really stepped up big to the plate. I mean, like you said, this was an undefeated team. They were ranked, number 3?
It's 3-7.
They were
they're number 3 now.
They were ranked 3. I don't know what went wrong for the offense. I mean, like, it had to be the O-line, man. Giving up 6 sacks and then Dante Moore making critical turnovers. I mean, you're not going to win a game like that. For Indiana, this was a game for them, their first win against a top 3 opponent like that in school history. So, I mean, this was definitely a statement win for them.
It was incredible.
Yeah.
Indiana just went in there and straight up outplayed Oregon. So now, guys, when we're looking at this Indiana team, how far realistically do you think this team can go?
Honestly, I wasn't too high on them at first. I thought it was just a fluke, right? Because we seen them do this last year, and then they got beat, and then things kind of went up and down from there. But now I think they're legit. I think they're real contenders. Definitely could make a push for a national. I don't know how legit they are from there, but we could definitely see.
They'll be in the Big Ten championship no matter what. They don't even play Ohio State or anything. They have an easy schedule for the rest of the season.
They sacked Dante Moore 6 times, and I believe going into this game, that offensive line had allowed 1 sack all season.
Yep, they
and
had.
I think that says all that needs to be said about this Indiana team. I think they're gritty. I think they play hard-nosed football. They play Big Ten football to a T, and I think that they're going to do that very, very late into this season.
And if I'm correct, I'm pretty sure this Indiana defense is leading the nation in sacks.
Would make sense.
I can't find the exact. Yes, they're leading the nation in sacks with 22 total as a team. This Indiana Hoosiers team is for real. And like you all are saying, if they continue to win out in the Big Ten, they pretty much run unopposed from this point on. They have a game against Penn State, but we see what's going on there. No Drew Aller, no James Franklin. That team is kind of in flux. Maybe they'll surge like how UCLA did after the staff
teams
got
do
clean.
that though. I don't want to be the. I wouldn't want to be the guy playing the team that just had their coach fired.
Right. It's going to be very interesting. But as of right now, it's looking like Indiana is on a collision course with the number 1 team in the nation, the Ohio State Buckeyes, for the Big Ten championship. It's getting very interesting in college football. Hard to see where things are going to go, but that's why I love the sport so much. It's so unpredictable. It is beautiful. But Johnny, we got to move on. We got more sports to talk about. Did you know that there is basketball being played in the city of Atlanta right now? I know.
Say what?
The city of Atlanta.
Who?
Well, there's basketball getting played everywhere in the city of Atlanta, right? But it's NBA basketball going on.
NBA's back.
The Atlanta Hawks are currently in a game right now, up 35-24 against the Miami Heat, ladies and gentlemen.
Preseason.
We are back. Right. Preseason basketball is back in the NBA. But it's back nonetheless. So there's no better time than now to really talk about this, because a lot of people believe after a very surprisingly aggressive offseason by the Atlanta Hawks front office, this could be the year where this Hawks team gets a favorable seed in the Eastern Conference playoff bracket and maybe makes a push for the Eastern Conference Finals, if not the NBA Finals, because the East is wide open right now, Keyshawn.
I hope it's about time they make that push. I mean, they've been having Trae Young for some time now. He's need help. He's obviously not going to do it on his own. It's about time for them to make an offseason push. So, I mean, hopefully they could, get things up with their number 1 overall pick from last season. Maybe he can make a big step to kind of get them over that hump and maybe make a deep playoff push.
Yeah, a lot of eyes are on the Falcons. You just mentioned Zachary. Kristaps Porzingis was acquired.
Hawks.
What'd I say?
Falcons.
Oh, well, I mean, I've been talking about football for so long.
Falcons,
I got a lot to say about the Falcons a little bit
about them later.
But yeah, I got to get my mind back around to basketball. But when looking at this Hawks team, like you said, Zachary Rusev from last year, number 1 overall pick. Kristaps Porzingis was acquired in free agency. A lot of other guys were acquired as well. This Hawks team has gotten a lot stronger, a lot of complementary pieces. Nickeil Alexander-Walker came over from the Timberwolves. And when you look at the East, John, yes, the New York Knicks are still there, but it's pretty wide open. The Milwaukee Bucks are without Damian Lillard. Giannis is still in place, yes. We don't really know what that team's going to look like. The Indiana Pacers are without Tyrese Halliburton for the season after his devastating Achilles injury in the NBA Finals. A lot of talent on that roster, but it's yet to be seen. The Boston Celtics. Yeah, Jaylen Brown's a dog, but no Jason
They're
Tatum.
depleted.
We haven't exactly no Kristaps Porzingis, no Jason Tatum. We don't know what they're gonna look like. So, if not now, then when for the Atlanta Hawks, John? Only teams in our way are maybe the Orlando Magic, Knicks, and the Detroit Pistons. Cavaliers are still there, yes, but it's about as open as the East is gonna get.
I was about to say, it's the time that we made these aggressive moves to. This is the win now scenario. You bring in a new GM, you go get the guys. We're spending money. You're bringing in those big guys. So really, this is our. I think it's our time to win. I don't know if we can win it all, but we can make a push after the past 5 years. I remember I crashed out about it. We've literally been mediocre the past 5 years, and I think there's just something new.
Mediocre for the franchise's history.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, we haven't had anything good since 2016, and it's just I think this is your push to get you over that mediocre hump. And what?
Y'all went to the Eastern Conference Finals like.
Yeah, but that was a magical run. Other than that, we've been.
So was 2016.
Yeah, but 2016 was a much better season than 2021, in my opinion.
Okay.
But overall, over like the past, let's just take the past 10 years as a chunk, there have been small moments of success, but overall, the Hawks have been mediocre. Trae Young's time here has pretty much been a waste for as of right now largely because of the front office. When big-time free agents have become available, the Hawks haven't really made any moves. But now it's looking like there's a chance.
It's like they know that their window is closing, right?
Exactly. It's like you said it 100%. You said it right.
Yeah, they
it's
know.
like they know the window's closing. You're only going to have Trae Young for so long. So why not go all in? The East is wide open. Yes, the Cavaliers are there. The Detroit Pistons, led by Cade Cunningham, I think are going to have a great season. I think he's really going to jump into that top 10 to 15 range with players in the NBA. But the East is wide. I'm excited to see the Hawks play. They're live right now on NBA TV, currently up 38-26. It's the beginning of the second quarter against the Miami Heat. I'm very excited to see it. But Schrader, I do want to kick it over to you for a second. Can you walk us through what's been going on in the MLB playoffs over the past weekend?
Yeah, respectfully, I have no idea why we're talking about preseason basketball before we're talking about
'Cause
postseason baseball.
we're excited.
I do not care. This is October baseball.
Says the guy who watched Marlins baseball over the national championship for college basketball.
That did happen.
Yeah, that did happen.
100%. But this is postseason baseball. You're talking about preseason basketball, which we can talk about in a week or two and do a season preview. When we have the Mariners just a couple of days ago advanced to the ALCS in a 15-inning barn burner that I guess they really didn't score because it went to 15. I watched the entire game. Talking about preseason basketball over that.
Well, you got your moment now.
Yeah.
Walk us through it. You got the Mariners playing against the Blue Jays right now, currently tied up at 3. What is it, in the top of the 5th inning? What is the key to this series, and who do you like?
I really like the Mariners right now, and the reason for that, and I think the key for that is passion. I think the passion that the Mariners are playing with right now, it's a fan base that has had nothing in the last 30 years, aside from just a couple of seasons, much like the Hawks we were talking about earlier. But the Mariners are playing with a passion to win. You saw it in that 15-inning game against who'd they play? Why am I blanking here?
You watched all 15.
I did watch the entire game.
No, I got you. I'm pulling it up right now. They played the Tigers.
The Tigers. Yeah. That's right. Screwball pitched an insane game that game. But, yeah, they're playing with passion. Cal Riley is hitting the ball a million friggin' miles an hour out of the friggin' stadium every time. He's playing great. I think the Mariners are winning this one. And don't forget about the Brewers and the Dodgers as well. The Brewers look like they could be the team to take down the super team that we know over there in L.A. And, man, if we get like a Mariners-Brewers World Series or even a Blue Jays-Brewers World Series, it would be so refreshing and be great to see.
I'm really banking on that Blue Jays and Brewers World Series. I've been partial to the Blue Jays since I was younger. I played for the Blue Jays when I was like 5 years old. It's like I've always really appreciated them. And then watching Vladdy really get his chance up there on the big stage, I've enjoyed every second of it. So I'm really banking on a Blue Jays Brewers. But either way, as long as the Dodgers don't make it, Schrader, I'm going to be a very, very happy man. Now, when it comes to fandom, nothing matters more than the fit. And now you can represent Wolf Sports Network by visiting our merch store. Go to wolfsportsnetwork.com. Yes, wolf like the animal, sportsnetwork.com. Hit about and then click merch store to check out all the wide variety of clothes we have. We have sweatpants, winter wear, Wolf Sports Network jerseys, hats, beanies, anything your heart desires is on our merch store. Show us some love, show us some support, buy the merch. It all comes back to us funding what we do here at Wolf Sports Network. And if you have suggestions on more things you want to see in the merch store, follow us on Instagram at Wolf Sports Network. Shoot us a DM and let us know what you want, and we just might get it in the store for you. Now, don't hit that dial. We'll be right back after this ad break. We're going to get into this crazy NFL weekend, talk about the Tennessee Titans' decision to fire Brian Callahan, and make our Monday Night Football picks, because your Atlanta Falcons are taking on one of the best teams in all of football, the Buffalo Bills. Stay tuned. This is Sports Back on Wolf Sports Network.
Hey y'all, it's Schrader. Now don't go anywhere, because you're listening to Sports Pack here on Wolf Sports Network. The Wolves play here.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are live at Playbook Training Camp. Now we throw it down to Joey, who's interviewing head coach Brandon Dyer.
Thanks, JT. I'm here with head coach Brandon Dyer. And Brandon, there have been many reports about starting punter Jackson Voss saying that he peaked in high school. Now, what are your thoughts on how he will perform this semester with the playbook?
Well, Joey, I have full confidence that Jackson Voss will be a breakout star for the playbook this season. And you'll find out Fridays at noon only on Wolf Sports Network.
Step right up, folks. It's season 2 of the playbook, where we're talking everything college basketball and baseball and...
Wait, Jackson. Dude, it's fall. And just like a playbook, I think we need to call an audible.
Ready, Omaha, hot!
We are talking strictly college football all semester on season 2 of the playbook, Fridays at noon, only on Wolf Sports Network.
It's time for season 2 of the playbook, and we're talking all things college football, putting together a better sophomore season than Tim Tebow in 2007.
To the listeners and everybody at Wolf Nation, I promise you one thing. You will never see an on-air personality work as hard as I will for season 2 of the playbook, and we will make this show better than any college football radio show will ever be for season 2 of the playbook.
Listen as we fulfill this promise, live, every Friday at noon.
This season, everything changes. I'm the only one who came back, and honestly, I might regret it.
Josh Allen might just be the best athlete the NFL has ever seen.
Spencer Strider is an elite closer posing as an ace.
D Rose is the most overrated player of all time.
One vet, all new voices, hot takes, wild debates, and zero chill. Season 6 of Sports Out of Pocket debuts this fall, only on Wolf Sports Network.
In the NFL, only one thing matters: chasing a dynasty.
After a disappointing 1-6 start to the season, Brian Callahan, the head coach of the Tennessee Titans, has been relieved of his duties after, like I said, a bad start to this season, but a very lackluster begin to his career as the Tennessee Titans head coach as a whole. I want to say he's 4-19 through his first 2 seasons right now.
That's not good.
And things have not been going great in Nashville since the, I believe, impromptu firing of Mike Vrabel a few years back. Schrader, I want to start with you. What's your reaction to this news?
I mean, my reaction to this news is, I think the fact that I follow the NFL and I really did not hear about this until like 30 minutes ago.
A lot of people don't know the name Brian Callahan.
Exactly. I think that just about tells you everything you need to know. He's had lackluster at best tenure over there in Nashville. The Titans haven't been relevant since one day in April when they drafted Cam Ward.
Yep.
And it's just been pretty brutal for those fans. So, yeah, I mean, darn, I guess, but hopefully they do something better.
I looked down at my phone and they're like, "Oh, Brian Callahan got fired." Oh, okay. It's kind of expected. They're in that win. They're in that win now mode. What else do you expect? They're going to move on.
I do not think they're in a win
now mode. I don't know about win now mode. Well, they just had the number 1
Yeah.
overall pick. They are not in win now mode.
They might get it again.
And the main thing is, it has been terrible to watch. The offensive line has been terrible. You've seen quarterback after quarterback come in there. Will Levis last year had 0 success.
No.
Cam Ward is uber talented, and it's been showing at times throughout the season, but there's nothing else on this roster to help him. So, yeah, I do think it was a bit of a rush firing because I'm not really sure what kind of difference it's going to make mid-season. I'm never really a big fan of mid-season firings.
I agree.
But either way, we all know what was going to happen.
Yeah.
Another big-time problem in the NFL right now, the 0-6 New York Jets, after one of the most boring games I had the privilege of watching early Sunday morning. I don't know why, but I sat there at 9:30 a.m. and watched every snap of the Denver Broncos versus the New York Jets. And this is one of the more painful things I've seen in my entire life. Bo Nix completed one pass in the second half, but that wasn't even the story of the game. It was Justin Fields having net negative 10 passing yards in this game. He was 9 for 17 with a net of negative 10 passing yards, no touchdowns. But there is something interesting about this. He had the same amount of sacks taken, 9, as completed passes. He completed 9 passes and was sacked 9 times. How do you fix this?
Richard, you're telling me that I had more net passing yards than Justin Fields did in that game.
I'm telling you, everyone in this room
combined.
Everyone in this room combined had more passing yards than Justin Fields in this game in New York.
This game was brutal for many reasons. One, I mean, it wasn't even good for people that like defensive football. It was just brutal to watch.
It was a
But then it's in London, and those fans wait so long.
And that's what
they pay so much money to just get a game. First of all, you're sending the Jets over there. That's a prayer request for those fans.
Yep.
But for them to have to watch, even the Broncos stink it up out there. I
felt so bad.
This is not a proper representation of American football to anybody involved overseas watching
next
this
week
game.
Get a little better.
I apologize.
They have the Los Angeles Rams going to take on the Jacksonville Jaguars, a 4-2 matchup for both of those teams. That should be better. But Keyshawn, when you're looking at this Jets team, it seems like Justin Fields might not be the answer. But there are other problems all around. This is a team that looked great in week 1. Played one of the better games of this season against the Pittsburgh Steelers, a team that currently looks red hot. We're going to talk about in a second. What is going wrong in New York?
Honestly, it's everything.
Yeah, that's true.
It's everything from coaching, from QB play, the defense. I mean,
offensive lines.
Well, the defense is there.
Receivers man.
Yeah.
Hey, Jermaine Johnson over there cooking.
They were there last week, but what about the weeks before that?
Yeah, good point.
Giving up 37 points, then you give up 27 points, then 29, then another 30 ball, then another 34. So it's like, what do you have in New York, man? And I just feel so bad for Garrett Wilson because, I mean, you have a quarterback like Fields. I mean,
and you know what? I used to feel bad for Garrett Wilson, but he chose to sign that contract extension.
You are right.
Garrett Wilson had the opportunity to get out of New York when it was obvious that it was going to get worse before it got better. But he decided to sign that contract extension, get the big money that he could have gotten from any other team in the league, because I think we can all agree he's one of the more underrated receiver talents in all of football. But he decided to stay there. So I did not feel bad for him at all when he was having a temper tantrum on the sideline. I'm a Garrett Wilson fan. But you chose to stay in New Jersey. You want to stay in hell? You stay in hell. We're getting up out of here. Aaron Rodgers left. Aaron Rodgers left and went to play for the Pittsburgh Steelers, who are currently one of the hotter teams in football right now and sitting at this as the number 1 team in the AFC North. AFC North that we thought was going to be very competitive with the Cincinnati Bengals, but they're down because of injuries to Joe Burrow. And the Baltimore Ravens, currently sitting at 1-5 in their second straight game without Lamar Jackson, and the worst defense in all of the NFL.
Which is surprising.
So when we look at the AFC North, do you think Pittsburgh is going to run away with it, or is there a chance that another team emerges and makes this an interesting race as the season goes on?
Honestly, Pittsburgh, they got it on lock. I don't know what else can happen. I mean, only other team I could see coming back is the Ravens. I mean, but first they would have to get Lamar back, and then they're already at 5 losses. So I mean, their margin for error is slim to none as of right now. So it's like, who else do you really have in that race? I mean, Cincinnati's there without a quarterback. Joe Flacco's not going to get you there.
No.
Cleveland Browns, it's
Cleveland
Browns.
Yep, it's Cleveland.
They're doing typical Cleveland things. So, I mean, it's like, who else do you have other than Pittsburgh there, you know?
I think Pittsburgh has it solid. You have one of the best defenses in the league. Aaron Rodgers playing good ball. There's not the most outstanding game, but still it gets the job done. That's what they want.
Exactly.
And Mike Tomlin, he's doing his thing, and I don't see anything else happening within that unless somehow Joe Burrow magically heals within less than 2 months. But I doubt it.
Yeah, he's not expected to come back until December. As much as I want to say the Baltimore Ravens, they're currently sitting at 1-5. I see a world where they get it done, where they get hot. Lamar comes back, this offense takes off. But
the Steelers
You need a
would
lot to
have to
happen.
go down.
Right.
Exactly. Something will have to happen to the Steelers because that Ravens defense is not just going to fix all his problems overnight. And I find it so hard to say this because last year, this defense, pretty much all the same. They've added more pieces that were supposed to make them better. Zach Orr is still the DC, but something isn't right. Even if Lamar comes back and this offense just cuts it on out of nowhere,
They don't play defense.
they don't play defense. And this Steelers defensive unit looks incredible. Lamar historically has had big-time issues beating Mike Tomlin-led teams over his career with the Ravens, and I don't know if this Ravens team is going to warrant him being able to get that done. So as much as I hate to say it, I think this is Pittsburgh's division to lose. Even if the Ravens do get their bearings and somehow find a way to go 11-5, which is unlikely, more like 10-6 or 9-7 this year, I still don't think they win this division because week in and week out, the Steelers are getting more and more confident.
Yeah.
This defense is playing better and better and better. I think Pittsburgh got the AFC North on lock.
We got a happy Willoughby Ray. That's all I got to say.
And because I am so glad he is not on the show to rub it in.
Oh, my goodness.
This will be an insufferable conversation. It really would be. Now, John, we have a Monday Night Football doubleheader that I have been really excited about all season. But before we pick them games, remind the people of our policy. Sports Pack and Wolf Sports Network are not liable for any financial losses that may occur due to using our picks outside of the show. These are just our opinions. Don't blame us. Blame the players. We got a big-time game in Atlanta, but I don't want to start with that game. I want to start with the Bears and the Commanders who kick off at 8:15. The Bears versus the Washington Commanders. Pretty interesting game. Jaden Daniels is back from injury. Caleb Williams and this Bears team coming off a bye week looking to shake things up in this NFC race. I want to make some quick picks here so we can spend some time breaking down this Falcons game. Who you got, the Commies or the Bears?
I'm going to have to go with the Bears on this one. I'm going to go with the Bears. You know, a little shocking, but I'm going to go with the Bears.
Yeah, I'm surprised.
Commanders still have injuries. Debo looks questionable, but Terry McLaurin's not there. Still have some on the defensive side. Honestly, for the Bears, I'm going to have to lean towards them with this one. They're coming off a bye week, so, I mean, they had a little bit more time to collect themselves. The Bears, I mean, not the Bears, Caleb Williams has been playing exceptional so far. I mean, 8-2 touchdown ratio, that's not bad at all. So, yeah, I'm going to have to lean towards the Bears with this one.
I'm just going with the Commies. I think they're the better football team. I think with Jaden Daniels back, they'll be playing great. It doesn't even matter really who the receiver is. Even if Debo's out, I think that
they'll find a new receiver.
They'll find a way to win. I like their defense. And, I mean, I would say the Bears ain't going to forget what happened last year. Y'all remember what happened last year?
Oh, we all do.
The Hail Mary?
The Hail Mary.
Yeah. Yep.
But I just think Washington's the better team. I think the Commies get it done.
Yeah, I'm going with Washington here. Their run game started to pick up with Krosky Merritt. He finally had a breakout game. It's what they've been wanting from him. He realizes what his role is now as RB1. So, and, you know, Jaden Daniels.
Great story.
Yeah, absolutely great story. But Jaden Daniels can just find any receiver. Heck, you could probably pull someone off the practice squad and make him wide receiver 1 there, and he will make sure he gets his targets.
I'm very impressed by the Washington Commanders' win last week against the LA Chargers. They were shorthanded, no Terry McLaurin. But my pick all depends on them having Debo Samuel. Because without Debo, I'm a little concerned because this Bears defense is not bad at all. But the Commanders have a great defense as well. So I'm really just going to lean on the team here that I know is going to have really good play calling. Not that the Commanders aren't. I love Cliff Kingsbury, Dan Quinn. I know what they're doing there. But I'm going to lean with the Bears here only because how healthy their offense is. I'm going with Keyshawn here. We're going to rock out together on this one. Coming off a bye week, had time to prepare. Roma Dunze and Caleb Williams' connection is looking stronger every single week. I think they're going to find a way to be a playoff team in the NFC and the wild card. They're a very entertaining team. I think it's going to be a great game, but I'm going to lean the Bears. I'm going to go with Chicago here to win it. Now, the moment we have all been waiting for. Your hometown Atlanta Falcons with a night game in Mercedes-Benz Stadium against Josh Allen and the Buffalo Bills, one of the best teams in all of football. John, you have that beautiful Dirty Birds jersey on right now, so I want to start with you.
Yeah.
What are the keys to this game tonight, and who you got?
Well, I think the keys to the game tonight is the coaching switches. Will they still stick, and will they still continue to improve? Because we saw what happened after he made the switches, after the embarrassing loss against the Panthers, and it helped us a little bit. And so really, I just want to see if the offense is going to be able to take this momentum they've had. They had a lot of rest, much needed rest. We just got to make sure our offense is firing all cylinders. I know Mooney's out for this game. It does not help us there. But you saw what Drake London did the 2 weeks ago, and I like it. Of course, I'm going Dirty Birds, but I say we win by a game-winning field goal.
I see it. I see the vision. Schrader, show me some love, man.
He's not.
I can't
He's
do
not.
it simply,
He's not. I
and
knew
it's
it.
not because I hate the Falcons, because I don't hate the Falcons.
It seems like you do.
But my issue is the Falcons have been far too inconsistent compared to the consistency that the Bills have had all year long. The Bills have played like one of, if not the best teams in the NFL, and the Falcons have played like that at one time, and then the next game played the exact opposite, and it's unreal.
True.
I think the bye week really could help them. I know a lot of people saw this bye week early in the season, and we're like, that's stupid. We don't need the bye week that early in the season. I think it was perfectly placed. I think it was perfectly placed because of the inconsistency, but there's been a lot of panic. When guys are getting fired and guys are getting moved from here to there in week 3, it's a lot more of a red flag than it is a green flag, and it can work out for a little bit. But I don't know if the Bills are the team that the Falcons can really have a breakthrough win against. Now, it would be great to see because there's nothing like Mercedes-Benz in a primetime game.
You remember
sold
last
out.
year, right, with Kirk Cousins throwing 500-plus yards and beating the Buccaneers?
I do, but Penix is the quarterback now.
That is true.
Kirk ain't the quarterback now. And Penix, he's been all right, but he hasn't been exceptional. He's made, I'd say, more mistakes than he has made positive plays. Bijan's playing great, though.
Yes.
But the run game needs to get established. Bijan's also the leading receiver, which is another red flag, especially with Mooney
Massive
out.
red flag.
You need Drake London to really step up and hold on to the ball when he has a big play. But I just think the Bills are the more complete team. I think that's why they get it done. I wouldn't be surprised if the Falcons do it, though, because it's primetime in Mercedes and anything can happen.
And they're wearing
Gonna be
throwbacks.
rocking.
Yeah.
Honestly, hometown kid, I'm going to be a little biased. I'm going to have to go with
Come on now.
I'm going to have to go with the Falcons, man. I'm going to have to, bro. Bijan's
Make a bird noise for me.
Nah.
I am so close. I am
There we go.
so clipping.
There we go.
Oh, that was
Man,
crazy.
Falcons. I got the Falcons, man. Bijan's going to be key for this game. He's back there laughing.
He's dead.
Bijan's going to be key. The Bills, surprised they ranked bottom 5 in their rushing defense. I did not know that going into to today until I looked that up. So Bijan's going to have to be key on the ground for them. The Falcons also have the best overall defense as well. So that's going to be a tough task for Josh Allen to try to overcome if he can.
For Bryce. Sorry. I
Stay
apologize.
No, you hate the Falcons. Simple as that. You hate the Falcons.
It's okay, bro.
I apologize.
It's okay, bro. You didn't have to bring that up. That happened, what, 2, 3?
Rich has got a sting
Stop
eye
bringing
going
it up.
right now.
You're right.
A mean sting eye.
He's hating, bro. We had the Falcons taking this one tonight, bro.
This game is huge. Coming off the bye week, like Schrader said, perfectly placed. We needed this bye week. This is a great time for guys like Drake London to get healthy, for this Falcons team to kind of recuperate, because this game right here is crucial. The Falcons need this game more than the Bills do to build this confidence, pushing through the rest of the season. Because like you said, the bye week was early. We need to build up momentum now. Had a very good win going into the bye, but defense was a little bit shaky against that Marcus Mariota-led Commanders team.
Yeah.
We need the defense to be a little more stout because like Coach Taylor said in this press conference earlier today, some offenses you can't stop, but you can slow them down a little bit by executing well. We need the Falcons to slow the Buffalo Bills down some today to give our offense an opportunity, because key to us winning this game is establishing the run with Tyler Algier and Bijan Robinson.
Tyler Algier is a big key.
We need both of them to have over 15 carries in this game.
Yep.
If they're both north of 15 carries, I'm very confident in what the Falcons can do, because then you put guys like Drake London, Ray McLeod, and Michael Penix in a very comfortable situation, because now you can choose when to pass and you're not being forced to pass because you've gotten into a big hole.
You have to keep Penix comfortable.
Have to keep him comfortable. And you do that by getting Bijan and Algier the ball. Need the defense to be serviceable. Get off the field when you can. We know Josh Allen and the Bills are going to score. Just do your best to limit them so our offense has an opportunity. This is going to be a great game. The Benz is going to be rocking. The Dome is going to be open. Night game, Mercedes-Benz, throwback unis. It's going to be an incredible atmosphere.
Great uni matchup.
We just need the Falcons to pull through here. It's going to take a great game, a borderline perfect game. But who would I be if I didn't go up my Dirty Birds, man? They going to find a way to get it done in prime time.
Come on, man.
And give a little boy like me a little bit more hope that the Falcons might just have something special this year. They'll probably disappoint me later, but all I care about now is a big win tonight against the Buffalo Bills. We'll see very, very soon because they kick off at 7:15. And that's all the time we have for Sports Pack. I'm going to end a couple minutes early so I can get back in front of my TV with a nice meal in front of me and watch every snap of this Falcons game. I want to thank you all for tuning in. We'll be right back here. Same bat time, same bat channel on Thursday. Don't forget, this is Sports Pack on Wolf Sports Network. The Wolves play here. Have a blessed night.